Patience and for joining us today for this Wednesday press conference. Tragic incident that took place last night. This is going to be a little bit of a longer press conference than we normally do, but I think everyone will agree that this incident warrants that. To our media partners, following the press conference, the public affairs team is going to be sending you a press release with a video. We are asking that you disseminate that out to the public. We're going to ask that you hold all questions to the end and keep those questions specific to this topic. We are now going to start with our first speaker, Mayor of Charlotte, Vi Lyles. Ms. Mayor.
I want you to know how to live together. If we can't figure this out for a 3-year-old, for whom will we do this for? As mayor of the city, as we recognize our city council and all the efforts that we've put in to making sure that this community could have something in the future that we could be proud of, that everyone was valued. We need your help, because I know we can't do it alone anymore. These incidents that are taking place that result in the loss of a 3-year-old, it is because someone's not willing to tell us how to do better, how to stop it. So today, we're going to talk a lot about it. But without your support and help, without someone being willing to be brave enough to say, this is not the city that I want to live in, that I can make a difference by helping people live together, preventing the loss of life that we have had over the several days in the past. I implore you, every member, every elected official in this county, not just Charlotte, but all of our towns, our school board, our county commissioners, we ask, we beg actually, that you step up as a community and help us make sure that these losses do not continue to occur. For us to have a safer Charlotte.
In here, as you heard, Asaya Figueroa was 3 years old. He was shot last night while sleeping in his home in North Charlotte. His 5-year-old sister, who was also in the house, was grazed. And by the grace of God, she's going to be okay, and she will survive her injuries. But for the rest of her life, she has to realize that she was in the house when her 3-year-old brother was senselessly murdered and taken away from this earth. You know, today her parents and Asaya's parents are making funeral arrangements. It's absolutely senseless if you think that we've lost a 3-year-old to such a senseless act. I want to speak directly to the suspects right now, to the people that were involved in this shooting, and just ask, how can you wake up this morning knowing that your actions last night took the life of a 3-year-old who will never get the opportunity to grow up and play and have fun as you've had that opportunity? How can you not wake up today and realize that you need to hold yourself accountable and come and turn yourself in and talk with us? It just makes no sense that you can have such disregard for human life and not hold yourselves accountable for that. You know, there have been several homes over the past week in North Charlotte that we've been looking into, that were shot into. You know, I have to take pride in our specialized units, our detectives, our patrol officers, for the responses that they've done in order to try and solve these cases, and the good hard work that they've been committed to over the last week as we've tried to do these investigations. But as you heard the mayor say earlier, this is something we will never be able to do alone. We're going to release a video, and you'll be able to see a video that will be shocking, because as you look at it, you'll know the results, that it ended in the death of a 3-year-old. And that makes it very difficult to watch. So our community in the past has always stepped up. They've always been there for us. They've always been able to provide information when we can't quite put all the pieces of the puzzle together. So we're asking again, and we're pleading and we're begging, as the mayor mentioned, for your assistance to help us identify the people that were involved in this shooting so that we can take dangerous criminals off the streets who are preying upon our community and our society. So if you recognize the people in the video, please call us, call Crime Stoppers, call the police department, give us any information that we can have so that we can continue this investigation. We're going to commit and continue to do all we can as a police agency to bring these suspects to justice, and we hope that the community will help us do that. So now I'm going to introduce Captain Joel McNally of the homicide team that's going to come and give you some more details of this investigation.
Thank you, Chief. Community, I'm here today because we've had a series of shooting Road. A teenager was killed in that homicide, and 2 other teenagers were shot during that incident. Tuesday, September 7th, just after midnight, a home in the 5300 block of Kiev Drive was shot into, and thankfully no one was injured in that. About an hour later, on Tuesday, September 7th, another house was shot into in the 11,300 block of Joe Morrison. Again, no one was injured. About 24 hours later, at midnight, on Tuesday, September 7th, 2 houses in the 5300 block of Kiev Drive were shot into. And again, thankfully, no one was injured in those. And then last night, Wednesday, September 8th, in the 2400 block of Richard Roselle Drive, as you heard, Isaiah Figueroa, a 3-year-old, innocent, was sleeping in his bed when nearly 150 shots rang out, killing Isaiah and injuring a 4-year-old sibling. This should outrage everyone who hears this. So what I'm here to tell you today is that all of these cases have some relation to Hopewell High School. And there's also, we believe, some connections to North Mecklenburg High School and Chambers, formerly Vance High School, as well. And we believe that these tragic events stemmed from some simple disputes. What started out as teenage dispute games has turned into a deadly game that's now taken 2 lives. So here's what I need. Parents, I'm going to speak directly to you. Parents of kids at these high schools, what we need from you is we need you to be as outraged as we are about this. This is where your kids go to school. These are the people that your kids are around, and we need your help. We need you to talk to your children. You should know whether or not your children were at home the last few nights. If your children were not at home the last few nights, overnight, we need to know that. We also need you to talk to your children and find out what is going on at their school. Kids know things because they talk to each other. We need you, whether you think your kids were involved or not, we need you to talk to your kids about what's going on. Ask them what they know about fights or disputes or other things going on at school. We need you to look through their stuff. You're their parents. You can do that. Look through their rooms, look through their phones, look through their social media accounts, and find out what you can find out. We need that to solve the murder of 3-year-old Isaiah. And so if you do find anything out, don't think anything is too small. We need you to call Crime Stoppers, 704-334-1600. Call Crime Stoppers and tell us what you know. Every little piece can help us. If you want to speak directly to a homicide detective, you can call 704-432-TIPS, and you can speak directly to a homicide detective. This is what we're asking of you. Community, teachers, parents, we need your help with this. Please help us. Thank you.
We need you. We know that you have information. Folks out there in our community, our neighbors, 704-334-1600, Charlotte Crime Stoppers. Now, at this point, we are going to open it up to questions for our speakers. Again, to our media partners, I'm asking that you keep those questions specific to this topic. Now, we, as the Public Affairs Office, will accommodate additional questions later in the CMPD PIO inbox, but for now, again, let's keep those questions specific to last night's tragic incident. Any questions?
Our first question today is from Lexi Wilson, WCNC.
Hi there, thank you. I was just wondering if you guys have found any of the vehicles involved. Do you know how many shooters or the age? I know you said these high schools and middle schools, but those are my first questions.
I'm going to have the captain come back up here to address that question.
So the question was, have we found any of the vehicles? We have not found any of the vehicles yet. The video that will be released out is that neither of these vehicles is particularly unique. However, together, they might jog someone's memory. They may know two people that have similar vehicles that run around together. We can tell you that there are multiple suspects and multiple firearms involved, but we have not at this time located any of the cars or any of the people, and that's why we're pleading for help on this.
Our next question is from Andrew with LLN Carolinas.
Thank you. My question is a two-part question. The second part will weigh on if the first part's a yes or no. Do you believe that the house that Isaiah was in was the target of this shooting around midnight?
That's still something that's part of our investigation. Obviously, this is still very active, very fresh, and very ongoing. So I can't answer that emphatically right now. What I can tell you is that we have a veritable army out working on this right now. Homicide detectives, our crime gun suppression unit, our crime lab, crime scene search, our North Patrol Division. We're coordinating with Huntersville Police, Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Police, and many others to bring a quick resolution to this. And so we have a lot of people out right now that are trying to answer every one of those questions.
If this turns out that this house was targeted, what are you doing to prevent anybody else in that house from being a second target or a retaliation target if the suspects are listening to the suspects?
Thank you. So the question was, what are we doing to prevent any retaliation if this house was targeted? And the answer to that is, as we go through our investigation and we find leads, and if we find names of people that we suspect or know that are involved in either side of a dispute, our patrol divisions are committed to a strong presence in those areas. Our crime reduction units in the patrol divisions will be working strongly in those areas. And we'll be doing everything we can with the presence of police officers and our investigative abilities to prevent the next shooting.
Our next question is from Jonathan Limehouse with the Charlotte Observer.
Hey, Captain. I wanted to know what led you guys to looking at the hospitals.
Well, through our investigation in this series of events, we have seen indications that people involved in these crimes are students, and because of the condensed time frame of these incidents over a few days and all happening in the same part of town, also information that we've gathered in our investigation has led us to believe that this is related to high school students.
Melissa with WSOC.
Hey there, what's being done today at those high schools that you mentioned to try to solve this crime and prevent others?
Okay, so at those high schools, we have partnered with Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Police, and for Hopewell High School and North Meck, we have partnered with the Huntersville Police Department. They have all pledged whatever resources are necessary. They have increased the presence of officers at those schools, and CMS is following their protocol for screenings or evaluation within the schools. And then additionally at Chambers High School, which is within CMPD's jurisdiction, the same type of response at Chambers.
Our next question is from Lana Harris, WCNC.
You guys have mentioned in the past that these guns are coming from stolen cars and trucks. Is that still the case? Where else may they be coming from? Is this gang related, and is there a chance that these guns are being imported into this city to do crimes like this?
Yeah, so the question is where are the guns coming from? Is this gang related? Could the guns be imported into the city? And so the answer is any of that is possible. Guns come from car break-ins very frequently. We always encourage people to take their guns out of their cars. If they have to leave them, to lock them inside of safe-type locks, to unload their guns. But really we want people to take their guns out of their cars. So yes, we do have guns stolen out of cars, and that does supply a lot of the guns that end up on the streets. We have guns that are taken in house break-ins, and we do have guns that come from other areas. So any of that is possible. And as to the question of whether or not this is gang-related, that is something that we are actively investigating as we pursue our leads and talk to people. That's something that we are evaluating to see if that is the case.
Our next question is from Lexi Wilson, WCNC.
So just to clarify, are these CMS students and are they believed to be teens?
Yes, we do know of numerous CMS students that are involved, and to our knowledge, they are all teenagers.
Morgan Francis with Fox 46.
Morgan, if you're there, we can't hear you.
Okay, Andrew with LLN Carolinas.
This question's for either the captain or the chief. Since you believe these are high school students, teenagers, and you're pleading for parents with information, let's say one of the suspect's parents knows what's going on. Will they be also charged accordingly as an accessory or accomplice to this crime?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer right now without the exact facts of what the parents know. There certainly could be some parental negligence involved in kids being out in the middle of the night with guns, but there may not be. You know, forever kids have snuck out of houses and done other things. And so I can tell you right now that our goal right now is not to jam up the parents. Our goal right now is to take the violent and dangerous people who are shooting into houses and killing people off the street.
Our last question is from Lana Harris,
Thanks. Two questions, if you don't mind. Number one, just wanted to know if that 14-year-old who was arrested in that other case where the 16-year-old was killed, is he working with you to get any ballistic technology that's helping you in any way?
Yeah, can you repeat the second question? I heard the first question.
I know that you guys have ballistics technology, and since there were so many rounds fired, I'm wondering if that's helping you guys in this case.
The first question was the teenager who was arrested for the homicide this weekend, cooperative, and the second question was with our ballistics technology, is that something that we're evaluating? And so as far as information from the teenager who was arrested, that's case information that we're not going to release right now. It's really important that we don't release these kind of things, because if there are other witnesses to these crimes, we don't want to bait those people's memory. We don't want to cloud their memory. We need them to be reliable witnesses. So if we put out too much information, we may get that information circled right back to us that wasn't someone's original memory. And it's really important to the integrity of our cases and the prosecution of our cases to keep that information private at this time. The second question is about ballistic evidence, and absolutely, our lab is actively working as we speak in this building upstairs right now, analyzing the ballistic evidence from every one of those cases to see if we have anything that matches, and if and when leads are generated by that, we will pursue those leads.
Again, we heard the community to do your part. Thank you.